history. Many generations gonna watch this fight, especially the round when someone tried to beat me hard, but I standed it and turned it in a different way. Thanks God.
We are live.
From the Joshua camp at the end there. Did you feel that you had won the fight and that you
Let me just send the link over.
Ми побачили певні емоції негативні з боку команди Джошуа. Чи ти відчував, що ти переміг у цьому поєдинку і що перемога станеться тобі?
Yes, of course. One more question about the future. There's one belt that you still do not have. It's occupied at the moment by Tyson Fury, who claims he is retired. What do you think happens next?
Good evening. Good evening. We are live for the post-fight breakdown, an emotional fight. Just listening to the ring conversations, it's clearly gone a bit left with AJ. Very, very emotional, very angry. Sorry I'm late. I had a bit of technical difficulties switching from one StreamYard link to another. I'm just going to message Travis to get him to join in on the chat. So welcome. Thank you very much for joining. Put them comments in. We need to know what your thoughts are on the fight, the win, the scorecards, how you think it went, and basically how AJ was afterwards as well. Let me see if the Undefeated is still live.
But all these gentlemen here around me, my team, they're gonna help me.
Just wonder if you had a final message for everyone back home.
Why is AJ angry? He clearly lost the fight. Got to give Usyk his flowers. He did. He had a bit of a tantrum, but then he gave Usyk his flowers in the end. He gave him the respect. It's just been an emotional kind of like battle with it. It's kind of nuts. It's mad. It's wild, but this is boxing. Travis, welcome back as we switch from one channel to another.
Thanks for having me, man.
Emotional.
That was just, the ending was just like, whoa. That's like the end of the film where you're just like, right, there's going to be another one.
Yeah.
I'm gobbled. The whole thing was crazy just now. That was insane. I reckon that was breaking point. That was a man that has been dealing with crazy pressure, breaking pressure press pipes. He's carried that pressure for a long time, and it broke him. I think that the media training that's made him hold his tongue and just stay silent and just keep that together. It's smashed.
And then he's just flipped. Yeah, that was it. That was the breakdown. Henry Lee Cooper, thank you very much for your comment. All comments are welcome here. But what I will ask you, Henry, is how many fights have you had? How many professional fights have you had? How long have you been in the gym and prepared for fights? To call another fighter, whether they're a journeyman or a world champion, a bum, is highly disrespectful. So for that, either come correct in the chat or I'll just remove you from here because we don't do that here. Even if AJ won, there's no way we would call Usyk a bum because we don't do that. Yeah, so it's not really the best thing. And even if it is the best thing, to call him a bum is disrespectful. When you've laced up the gloves and you've got in the ring and you can back up your talk, then that's fine. Otherwise, get out of here. We don't do that. Yeah. So, yeah, very, very emotional. Yeah, I agree. AMG, he showed heart.
Yeah.
This is where boxing is emotional and people don't realize how emotional the sport is.
Yep.
It was closer than we thought. Obviously, it's split decision, whatever. Usyk won. He is still the reigning world champion. But that pressure, everything, the whole week, the tension, and then AJ loses. He's like, that emotion, you know, everything just. AJ don't go around swearing in the ring.
It just came out. It just came out. That's the thing, though. It's like this guy suppressed this image for so long. The media is for so many years, and you know, it's the realization when the penny drops I
Yeah.
don't have a rematch clause. I don't have
Imagine.
anything else. I'm no longer a part of the undisputed conversation that I've worked so hard to be in. I'm
Yeah.
outside. I'm outside now. Yeah. So
Yeah,
when
it's mad.
the stuff he's saying is revealing. I'm not
Yeah.
even I ain't been boxing since I was 5. Like, dude, I wasn't even supposed to be.
Yeah. I wasn't
I
even
wasn't even
supposed to
supposed to
be
be in
here.
here. And,
Jesus
and
talk
I'm
about bossing case and that. Yeah, it's wild.
it's a breaking point. Do you know what I mean? And everybody at some point in your life has had those. Do you know what I mean? He's had a good run up until this point. Do you know what I mean? He's like, I'll take a loss, rematch, get it done. It's like, okay, we move. But now it's different. Now you're down bad. The
Yeah,
guy's beaten
yeah.
you twice. It's like, yo, this guy's got your number. And in this era where undefeated is such a big thing, you're
Imagine.
now up to 3. Yeah, by this guy. So now the conversation can move. Oh, Fury don't need to fight you now. Man gets to talk about you like you're just a side guy.
Nuts.
He knows
Yeah.
what's ahead.
And that's
People
what it is.
the British media treated him like crap when he was on top. He knows now I got to go through all this nonsense again. That's what that
Imagine.
breaking point is.
Yeah. And this is it. That's the emotional side. Hold on, I've got to send KG the link on it. One sec. Yeah, it's just it's sad. It was sad.
Yeah.
Do you know
It
what I
was.
mean? Fair enough. Like you said, and it's fine. Obviously, you won fair and square. But to see him there like that, that was peak, man.
It was
Because
yeah,
he
it
was
was sad.
emotional.
It was sad because it's like I don't know how if I had that moment where you've dedicated your life to a point, you've dedicated your life to a moment and it doesn't work out. I've experienced that in my own career, but you know, it's one of those things. It does hit hard and it hits you in the moment and it hits you in the next morning and the next morning. So
facts.
do you know what I mean? We just gotta let this guy be human, bro. The guy's been a machine for so long.
For
Let the
real.
brother be human.
Yeah, for real. And that is it. Let him be human. Let him have his
Straight.
outrage. Why is he pissed off? Because he just saw the belts that he believed he had a possibility. He trained so hard to get him back. Gone.
That's what I'm saying.
Like you said, no rematch clause.
There's no rematch clause. Now he's got to think of other opponents. The Fury fight, he might as well kiss that goodbye. You know what I mean? Because Fury is what, retired unless Usyk wins. Well, now you got to face this brother now, innit?
Yeah, for real.
Let's see what you're saying because Usyk proved his mettle tonight. Usyk's different.
Yeah.
Usyk's different. he's different, but he's beatable. He's beatable though. But it's just it's still a massive task. It's nuts, man. It's mad.
It's nuts. Trav, can you send KG the link? My email's doing a madness right about now. Because when I went to jump in the stream, my whole system just crashed.
Right.
If you could send that over to KG.
And the way the Sky team, the commentary disrespected my man. I'm like, you know what?
I haven't. I didn't hear a lot of it.
They were bruv. Jam Down 187 said when fans walk away from boxing in mass, let's see Adam Smith and the Sky commentary team continue their BS. Yeah, bruv. Straight facts.
Shows the levels of pressure.
100%.
Yeah, you're right, Louis. Yeah, you're right. Because it just all gets on top of you. And like I said, you know, when we were talking about say Lomachenko, when he was screwing, when Teofimo Lopez did that to him, and everyone's like, oh, stop being a baby and whatever. And then the same with, you know, with Deontay Wilder, that's been holding hostage for the WBC belt for the longest, and then he was doing his stuff, whatever. And you're like, oh, stop this rubbish. And then you see AJ, the one that sat there, that's been quiet, that's never really said nothing, that's always been on like the back foot with his comments, never really revealing who he is emotionally. And then all of a sudden, this all comes to a head, and it's like, what?
Yep. It's real. It's mad. It's mad. Do you know what I mean? And you know, KG's right. What he was saying on the thing.
Oh, what did he say? Because I missed that, innit?
He's just saying it's like it's not your moment though. Like you lost. Like give it up. You know what I mean? And it's like I hear that, but it's one of them ones where it's
not
like,
that simple though, is it?
It's exactly, and also it's not a simple like it's AJ we're talking about. Do you know what I mean? It's like he's been carrying the sport, so this is the first time he's seen the thing drop, and now he's no longer involved.
Imagine
that's a moment for my man. Like
that's mad.
I don't excuse the behavior. All I'm saying is the guy's human, and that's the breaking point. Yeah,
we sent you the link, KG. Trav sent you the link.
Yeah, I emailed it to you, bro. I can't even see the comments.
Henry Lee, Fury is unbeaten world champion. No
Oh.
one on this planet will beat him. That's fine. We've not ever said anything about Fury. So
Yeah, as long as he
fantastic
fights.
comment.
As long as he fights.
Just stay active in it. Yeah.
As long
It's
as he
cool.
fights, I'm happy with people saying that. If he proves it in the ring, cool. But this theory thing that with Fury is what's annoying. I just want him to do it. Just beat the guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Calm down, Amato. We're letting him in. You're missing him that much. Yeah, he's a good one. Tony's put, but KG needs to remember AJ and never did that before. AJ was upset, angry, and pissed off, all rolled into one. That's
Facts.
true.
This is it.
Imagine that last chance that you had to do something to get them back. Gone.
That's what I'm saying. 100%. Yo, KG, I forwarded the thing to your email, bro.
Even I'm upset. I can't even imagine how AJ feels. It's true. This is true talk. Realize it's on Flex 47. Realize it's on Eddie's toes.
What's that?
Flex, talk to me. What do you mean? Realize it's on Eddie's toes. HGM Fury is very beatable. Dude just understands the business of boxing. We will see. I agree. AJ is only human. Must have been difficult to take. He had massively improved in this fight. Yeah, and he did. Peter, you're right. He did. He had improved. I've never seen him head movement like that. I've never seen him look confident like that. He was scared the last fight, but this one he was like, okay, I know I'm gonna have to get inside. I know I'm gonna have to take a couple of hits to get through. But then it was like the last couple of he starts to fade. We did say this. He'll start to fade. But even up to round 8. You know, I'm getting into the breakdown. Let me let KG in 1 second.
All right.
KG, welcome. Apologies for the delay. It's my system that's messed up tonight.
Oh shit, man. I'm sad. I'm sad. You know, the point that I was trying to make that I think was missed in the moment, and even like there's loads of points in this thing, right? The first one is because me and my brother-in-law had a big argument just now. He was saying, look, AJ's worked hard, this, that, and the other, red hair, you know, wait 1 second, let me make sure I turn this up. AJ's put in all this time, he's committed, and I'm like, I understand that. And I'm an AJ fan. However, there's another man in the ring who's committed himself as much to the thing. He's been to war, he's done it all. Yeah. And now the moment, remember, we all talked about how that fight ends. You get a moment to speak to the people. AJ's the face of boxing, and the moment went. Now everyone's talking about, now the moment is gone. It's completely gone. And again, we talk about respecting boxers and loving what boxers do. He's worked hard to put himself in that position. He danced around. He looked good. He outclassed my man. IQ. When AJ's hitting low, he's just taking time off. He's saying it's a low blow. It's not a low blow. That's someone that knows how to box. That's someone with intelligence. Let him have his moment. That interview could have come on IFL. It could have come on anywhere, and I would have said, you know what, AJ, big up. But the problem is, it happening. You know, like when you see your brother getting mad, and you think, I wish the community don't get to see you look like this now because I know they don't care. I care about AJ. Now they're making bad jokes online about AJ, this, that, and the other, because that's not his community. He didn't need to look vulnerable in front of them. They don't care about him. That's the problem. Those are the things.
Now, I hear what you're saying, but the thing is, AJ's never looked vulnerable because he always swallows everything and keeps everything in. I think it's a good thing that he went on that rant because that shows for the first time ever how much he actually cares about everything. That showed his vulnerability, his raw side, and who he is to all of the public, saying, listen, this is what I've been through. No, I'm not like my man, but this is what I've been through. I think we needed to see that. People online, whether he won, if that decision had gone to him, people online was going to rinse him. Whether he knocked out Usyk, they would have said the only reason he won because of whatever. People always going to say something about him. So yeah, he's vulnerable. He's human. So when he comes out now, when he speaks here, this is who he is. I don't think there's anything wrong with him having a rant and a rave. We've seen plenty of people do it.
I don't know, man. I again, there's not saying, and I get it. His head was gone, but it was just it was the root. It was seeing. It's like almost not a Kanye version, but you know when Kanye has his moments.
You've nailed it.
Yeah, when Kanye has his moments, you don't sit there as a fan of Kanye and say, "Yeah, well done for that moment." You want to protect him because you care about him. And this is just me. I care about AJ. I don't want to see him go out like that. It was bad. My man's talking about, again, like, he's a fighter. And then fighters smell blood. And right now, the blood is for everyone to see. Right? Look at all the vulnerabilities. Look what they've done to you. This is another guy, because he's asking Usyk, how did you beat me? I'm stronger than you. I'm this than you. You beat me. How? He can't believe it. He's got the belts and he stashed the belts. This is madness.
Bro,
Come on, bro. I didn't want to see my boy go out like that.
It was a
human moment. It was a human moment. People are saying his team should have removed him. How are you going to... If AJ don't want to go a direction, you cannot force that to happen.
His team should
But they brought him back. Bro, who brought him back? Someone told him to come back. He was going.
Because he was going to go back and not do an interview. And they know that would have looked bad. So they said, no, come back and ting. So he's like, all right, fine, I'll come back. But I'm doing it while my head is gone. Give me the mic and let me run this thing. That's what this was. Yeah, because
there was so many.
And he threw his belt down. He threw the belts down and said he was talking crazy. Bro, he had a human moment. Yeah, he had the belts up and he was saying something.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
You want these October? He said, "You want these belts? Yeah, you want these belts? Take the belts, bro." It was
the fact is this. Yeah.
Then he goes.
Jackson.
Sorry.
Jackson just said he's saying it's a human moment. That was a mental breakdown. Don't make light of mental health, bro. This was the breaking point. Think about all these years this guy has concealed his real personality and real feelings to be this media darling.
Corporate.
This was the breakdown. This was the breakdown. People can say, "Oh, are you defending this behavior?" I'm not defending it, but I'm saying it's easily explained when you see how AJ's has carried himself in boxing.
Yeah, for real.
Straight like that.
I agree. I just want to say shout out to Jimmy 2 times. AJ had a much better night tonight. Hurt Usyk to the body. Usyk claimed he was hit below the belt. AJ couldn't close the distance, but good fight. Jimmy, big up yourself. Jimmy's another one that always supports my channel, always leaves a comment. Whatever video I put up, it could be dead. Jimmy 2 times is always there in the comments. So massive respect.
I'm just posting this link, telling people that we're here as well. I'm posting the link so they can come through.
You know me, I'm rubbish at that stuff, KG.
Man.
I am. I'm not really good with this online live stuff. It's not my forte, is it? Philip said it was embarrassing, to be honest. Let's have a look. I'm probably a bit behind in the comments, to be fair. PK can tell he really trained hard for that fight. I'd love to see Usyk smash Fury up. Paul as well. Welcome, Paul. Another one that comments on my page. Welcome. Massive respect to you. We measure men in defeat as much as we do in victory. AJ embarrassed a nation at the end. So Paul's kind of like agreeing.
The nation weren't behind AJ. The nation weren't behind AJ. He didn't embarrass no one. He was there on his own steam. To try and pretend like the nation was behind AJ at this stage, now that he lost, is nonsense.
No, but Trav, come on, man. Trav, we have to look at this thing. Let's look at this thing properly. Yeah. Again, this is a fan base. I'll say amongst us here, there's a lot of AJ fans. Yeah, but we have to look at this thing just cleanly, the way we need to look at this thing, like to remove yourself, separate yourself, and look at this just as a boxing fan. What happened tonight was wrong. I understand AJ puts hours in the gym to make sure he's ready for these moments. Another guy puts hours in the gym. The reason why we love boxing is this. What's that?
They all do. They all put hours in.
This is what I'm saying. They all do. Then you talk about pressure. The man had the fucking pressure of his nation on his back. Yeah. His country's being bombed consistently. I know we don't want to like this, what you call it, but that's his story. That's his. I'm talking about Usyk's truth. No, we're not. What do you call it? I'm talking about Usyk's truth because right now we're.
No, bro. No, think about what you're saying right now. I don't need to compare his struggle to say that you don't deserve to react how you want to react. There's people that deal with far less and their struggle is very minimal and their mental health is gone. It is what it is. Everybody's makeup.
No, but you're missing the point I'm arguing about.
From this thing. No, you're saying to me that he's had the nation that he was dealing with. Yeah, cool. He had his own struggle. He managed it and he won. He had his own struggle. He didn't manage it. That's it. That's all there is. It's 2
And
seconds.
in boxing, at the end, the person that wins gets to move the way they need to move. I get to have that speech and get to put that off my chest because I won. I get to send a message because
So what are you saying?
Did he
bested
snatch
you.
the mic? Did he snatch the mic off? And was it?
Took
Did
the
he
mic
snatch?
off him. Usyk tried to grab it off him and he couldn't get it back. Am I telling lies, Travis?
That's where my connection went a bit mad. I don't know.
It's not.
He took the Usyk's trying to. Everyone's trying to grab the mic off him. Usyk wants to talk.
I hope nobody in this chat thinks I'm defending what AJ did. Let me be very clear. That's not a way to behave. Simple facts. But what I'm not going to do is pretend like we haven't seen AJ be this media darling to this nation and get his back turned on him and be talked to him like he's a dickhead for a lot of years, ever since he came and sat down for the Black Lives Matter protest. Yeah? So he's had that narrative shift, and it was very disrespectful going forward, and he's dealing with that pressure and the fact that he's lost his belt and now he wants to get his belt back. There's a lot of layers to this. So when you're talking
Can
about,
I say that 2 things?
This is the first time you've seen AJ have a moment. You've seen cracks. You've seen little hints in IFL interviews. Well, I said this, I said that.
It was winding up to it this week. It's
was
been leading up to it. Yeah, the catalyst.
So don't try and forget all of that because Usyk is dealing with his thing. Yeah, he's dealing with his thing. Cool.
Yeah.
But he's been also dealing with a lot in his head and he broke.
It is what it is. I mean, we can come back on that. But what I want to do is I want to start to break down the fight because obviously he didn't win. The point split decision. Travis, you was you were obviously there watching it with me. Your thoughts on the actual fight? Let's break it down because that's what we're gonna do here.
Yeah, no, first of all, we're gonna just say absolute props to Usyk on a tremendous performance because AJ came out and AJ looked good, but he did his thing. Usyk was in control. Like, I wouldn't say he was in control. He had some rough rounds where he clearly lost those rounds and he got hurt. AJ managed to hurt him for a good couple of moments. But he was constantly landing on AJ. Constantly landing. And for me, I'm like, bro, it's impressive. Even around he got hurt, he came out and he got busy. Do you know what I mean? AJ was like, there in the headlights at times. Do you know what I mean? Waiting to land another body shot. Waiting to land another shot. Round 11, he looked like he was gone on his feet. He was landing a lot of big shots. Do you know what I mean? I was like, bro, Usyk has done a lot. AJ's landed a lot and he's clearly hurt, my man. And still, this guy is there. Do you know what I mean? Round 12 is the most I've seen Usyk exhausted. And I'll say, listen, bro, the best man won tonight. That's that.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Straight facts.
Yeah. Guys, could you just let me know that this is on YouTube and not just on StreamYard? You know me, I'm so rubbish at this rubbish.
It's on YouTube, babe.
It is on YouTube. It's all right because we've got a few people that have managed to get into the StreamYard link. Was it in the chat?
Fuck me. That's me.
Is that you? Okay, because there's loads of people waiting to get in. Guys, I can see that you're there. We've probably got about 10 people waiting.
I've done the mad thing. I've tried to promote the thing and I've sent the wrong link instead of shit.
Okay, it's cool. It is what it is, but we won't be able to get everyone in all at once. So apologies, Travis. I just wanted to make sure that this was airing out everywhere.
Let me send the actual my head is gone, fam. I think, do you know what it is, yeah? And I hope, because two things can be true, yeah? Has AJ been pushed, has AJ been treated a certain way by the media? 100%. You know what I mean? And I'm not discounting that or throwing that away at any point, right? The issue that I have is just the way it went, right? And I get it's the mental health moment, and I know AJ went through it in that moment, but we're just talking about boxing, right? And there was we can't even break down the fight because of what happened in the end. It's paramount. We can't pretend the end didn't happen. It's marred by that. Was AJ did AJ improve? Yes, he did. Was there things that I liked about AJ's game? Yes, there was. But then was there just incredible an incredible boxer? AJ went out with the best in the division, and he could tell why he's the best in the division.
Yeah.
And all again, these things are lost. The first one, you can say, well, we was watching it saying, well, what was wrong with AJ? It didn't make sense in Tottenham, and we almost
Yeah.
didn't even give Usyk his full credit, his full flowers. He's been operating at heavyweight. The Chisora, he didn't get his flowers for Chisora. Then he fights. Who did he fight next? He's barely. There's so many different man them he's fought, and he's never received his flowers. So now you say to yourself, well, when are the flowers coming? And he's been saying that, even to the fact that Fury's just like, well, I'll fight you. I'll fight my man. I'm not even trying to see you. Big man, I'm the champion. Fair and square. I came up, honor me properly. But it's not happening because moments keep, and it's like, what do I have to do? And that's the element I'm talking to, just as a boxing fan. Yes, there's so many different layers, and I hate to see AJ go out like that. It was horrible.
Sad,
it's painful
it's
to watch someone that you care about look like that in that moment.
Sad, boy.
Oh, it was
boxing. This is what I'm saying. Boxing is cruel. It's probably one of the most cruelest sports that we can encounter. That's why sometimes when you hear about these fighters saying about mental health, and everyone's like, "Oh, shut up, whatever." What? Don't do that. Because you don't know what kind of mental pressure they're putting on themselves to do what they do to keep us ungrateful sods entertained for us to cuss them off when they lose anyway. Imagine all that effort that you're putting in. And then if you don't get the win or whatever, or you don't get that emphatic knockout or whatever, you're getting slated by people that haven't even climbed into a boxing ring and stood in the middle of it, let alone had a fight. This is the cruel world that we live in. And fair enough. If that's what he did, because like I said, it went all wibble with my stuff here. But he was emotional and he just let rip then. Usyk is a very good boxer. We know that. But AJ came out, and what I will say from the positives, and yes, I was looking through biased eyes. I've always said that AJ boxed better this time than he has done before. We saw the improvements. But even in the comments, some of the guys said he wasn't following through with the shots. We've seen that again. Remember when I said that he was going forward and he'd hesitate and stop? It's like you need to follow through with the shots. At first, we saw really clever head movement. He was keeping his head. He was doing the TikTok thing. He's offline. He was even rolling. Even though he's the longer fighter, he was rolling because this is showing that he's prepared to get inside. Because really, if he wanted to, he could keep him at the range, just keep on jabbing him. Every time he comes in, just jab him, moving back, double jab, backhand. But he wasn't. He was crouching down and trying to get inside so we could land those body shots. The plan was there. You could see what he was trying to do. And it worked well. However, we were sat in that chat, Trav, and we were saying, it's round 7 now.
Yeah, as it was.
We know what happens after you see the fade.
Yeah, 100%.
There was a couple of moments that he had that was still really good in there, but the head movement stopped. And when you start getting hit, and that's it.
And because Usyk doesn't have the type of power that makes AJ back up and maybe think I need to run for a bit, it was worse because now it's that blunt trauma. It's just bang, 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 bang,
yes,
white light, white light, white light, white light, white light. So it's one of those things where after a while, your mind starts to slow down as you get tired as well. Round 11 was really bad. If Usyk had power, round 11 would be where he knocked him out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's just one of those things.
I wish it was. It would have been better. That would have been better. That would have been a better end, bro.
No, it wouldn't.
Then what AJ's dealing with, what AJ's struggling to understand is, I don't understand how you beat me. He still can't get in his head. He's like, I know you're not stronger than me. And then he's now talking about boxing. He has to go back to his dawn of how he came into boxing. Then he's like, I didn't start this thing from the beginning. And now you're hearing all the thoughts that are personal thoughts, your thoughts, bro. And it just comes out, and it's like,
it's like the vomit.
Again, it was just a wicked boxer. You was in there with a skilled technician and someone that just, again, instead of making this moment about AJ and what AJ did wrong, you just gotta say that's the greatest thing about boxing is we two men come together and one leaves as the winner because he's better. And
Yeah,
they've
big
done
facts.
so many rounds now. The first round, when we first watched the first fight, we said to ourselves, how the hell did it happen? It couldn't have been real. Something must have been wrong. No, nothing was wrong. The guy's improved. The
Yeah.
guy's
No,
improved.
we
The
didn't say
guy's got
nothing.
better.
No, nobody said nothing was wrong. It was everyone blamed it on the wrong game plan. This time round, he's supposed to come in and be on a seek and destroy. But the fact is, seek and destroy with a man that moves like Usyk is not really. It's not. It's one of those. It's going to take time. It's never going to be a 2-3 round job. He's going to have to work his way in, and
that's what he was doing.
He was trying to.
do.
Yeah, he was trying to, and it's just one of those things. Sometimes a man has got the beating of you, and that's what's frustrating about modern boxing versus boxing of the old days. It's like, cool, this guy's got the beating of you, but that doesn't A plus B don't equal C. You understand? If we go back to the eras that everybody loves, there's pure things that don't make sense. Tommy Hearns fucking out Roberto Duran after Duran beat Sugar Ray don't make sense. After Sugar Ray went and beat Tommy Hearns. So the fact is, but now what this means is AJ and Fury doesn't happen.
No, because the next fight that we need to see is Usyk. It's Usyk. Usyk is at the front of the queue.
No, it's not going to happen. AJ's going to have to go.
No, but I'm
Tyson
saying
Fury's going to retire. It's not going to happen.
No, and Trav, I'm with you, right? There needs to be pressure. There needs to be pressure put on Fury to go and fight this. You have to fight this champion. You have to go see him. There has to be pressure there. It's because again we keep talking about Fury versus AJ. The new conversation, and this is the thing I'm talking about: giving someone the correct flowers that is deserved, and saying, "Boom! I've come up from cruiserweight. Put my name in the discussion. You man have left my name out for time, and I'm the man. How about that?" And for some strange reason, that guy over there, the Gypsy King, don't want to see me, and the British, the community, boxing fans are like, yeah, he can retire. Retire after 2 defenses against the guy they fought all the time. That don't make no sense. That ain't boxing. Where did you do that?
We'll see.
What's happened?
Well, we'll see if Fury does say, all right, then I'll take Usyk, because obviously the WBC belt is the one that is still not out in the open. He's still got it. It's not been relinquished, has it?
No, he's still got it. He's still got it.
Retirement.
He has to fight him.
He has to.
True first missions is real talk here. He said, "I'm a boxing coach, and you can't teach killer instinct." And that's real talk.
Where's that comment? I've got so many comments.
A little bit further up, 12:48 a.m. And it's real talk. Do you know what I mean? On a fair assessment, the killer instinct wasn't really. It's not really. It wasn't there today. It's not been there for a while. Do you know what I mean? It's just one of those things, man.
As AJ comes forward, sorry, I'm doing a lot of talking. I'll get out of here in a second.
Nah,
I'm just gonna be hyped up,
man.
But I'll say this: AJ would get in, and he would lean, he would spoil the work. He miraculously get him close to the ropes, and he think, AJ, offload now. This is your moment, and he'd literally going for the clinch, and you're like, what'd you do that for? I'm confused. And again, you heard the corner. You lot heard the corner again. I said, I worry about this corner. The corner were telling him, you're winning every round. AJ winning every round. Yes, they did.
Serious?
Are you serious?
Yes. I promise you.
I had to turn the thing down, innit? So I don't know. Oh
no, them man. Remember, I'm listening with volume, people. They're telling them, AJ, well done. You're winning every round. I don't know which, and to the point that Fury texting, it came up on the sky bar. Why are they telling AJ he's winning every round? He's down on every. Yes, they did. Once again, I want to know who did that. Let us know in the chat if it was Angel or if it was Garcia. Someone did.
He said that's what happened. What he said that happened last time.
Mate, that's madness, bro. That's madness.
It's mad.
Even us with our
the corner was telling after every round that he's winning. There we go. Facts.
Well, we knew, even though we were biased, we knew that he weren't winning every round. We were saying that.
Facts.
We were being fair on our judging. Fair enough, our comments were more biased towards him when he was doing well, but we knew he weren't winning every round. And I said, this is the problem. After 7, this is where he'll start to fade.
No, look at this. Robert McCracken would have dealt with it differently and said he was winning this, and he clearly needed a knockout. No, McCracken wouldn't have done it differently. The last fight was McCracken's time, his chance. He did the same thing.
But Grey Fox has put a good point in there. It was a horrible game plan to focus on body shots when you're the bigger, longer fighter. Slightly controversial,
I
but
don't know about that
AJ
one.
going low brings him to his level with Usyk and gives up all his natural advances. That's why I said you'd expect him as a longer fighter to really keep Usyk on the end of that jab, but that wasn't his game plan because it's the body shots that hurt Usyk, which we all saw. That's why
How
he had
bad did it
to
hurt him
adapt
though?
that game plan.
How bad? Again, it's a skilled operator, and certain times you don't know when a man's playing possum, and whenever it did get sticky for him, you just say, listen, ref, low blow. Give me some space.
Exactly. Anytime you got a body shot he didn't
Reset. No, but it's clever. It's just clever. Again, if you want to hit someone, and again, we talk about the dark arts in boxing. He had them all on display. Even when AJ was on him, he said, "Hey, hold this little, what do you call it? This little elbow." This is again, you have to do these things. If you're a smaller guy, you got to give yourself an inch. You got to take moments in fights, and he did it well. It's boxing IQ, and it showed all the way through the fight to the point that AJ's wondering to himself, because it's so funny. AJ had little moments when you say, AJ, it's there. It's all here for you. Go and it's yours. And you say, well, why can't you get there? Why are you struggling to meet him? Why are you struggling to offload? Why do we see you like it happen 3 or 4 times in a fight when you have a great moment and then finish off the round, AJ? Even if you talk about winning rounds,
finish the round,
AJ. 30 seconds. Let
like
him
what
know.
Buatsi
Now
did
you're just
with
giving
Craig
it.
Richards.
Fuck's sake, bro.
Yeah,
I'm pissed off, bro.
yeah.
I'm gonna just go in the ocean, fam, and just swim, bro.
All right then, fair enough. We've talked about AJ, but what we will say is Usyk, and it follows on sort of like from what KG said. Usyk has that ability to keep busy. When you keep busy, it gets eyes on you, and that's how you get the points, because he's constantly moving around on his feet, and he's throwing out those continuous shots. If you look at the CompuBox stats again, I'm sure Usyk will have the higher percentages. Whether they were as impactful as AJ's shots, because you heard when those shots land, it doesn't matter. He was still throwing out more shots, and I'm going to say that's what gave that decision, because he was the busier fighter. But those blows that AJ was giving him weren't low. They weren't low. But obviously, my man's, like I said, he's using tactics to get the extra breath air or whatever. That first time when AJ hit him with that alleged low blow, it was on the belt. They replayed it in slow motion. The ref was behind. When AJ seen him wince, bro, you're getting clapped in the temple. You're getting uppercut. That ref ain't there yet. You're going down, and then we'll see what happens then. So there's a couple of people that have said he seemed like he was hesitant. He was hesitant in the first one. This time he was less hesitant, but it was still there. There were opportunities. There were windows there. And that was a clear window where he could have literally closed in and finished it, because the ref was coming up behind him.
That's right.
Did you see it? You saw it in the slow-mo, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Frustrating. It's frustrating.
Fuck's sake, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gutted, man. I'm gutted. Me, I'm off Twitter, fam, because I don't need to see that shit. I'll be arguing all night with the man them. You know what I'm saying?
Serious?
Yeah, I'll be arguing because I know what it is. I already know what it looks like. I can see what my man's got to deal with. Well, go on, bro.
Big up, Danny.
This
Big
is
up, Danny.
shit,
Welcome.
Yeah, I'm pissed, man. I'm pissed. Because at the end of the day, AJ's been flying the flag for British boxing globally for a decade now. He's helped everyone's wages go up. He's helped the profile of the country go up. He brought boxing to Saudi Arabia and the interest of the Middle East invested in boxing. So they have to remember that and the fans have to remember that and get behind him. Yes, it wasn't good that he stole the mic, but it's not really a crucifixion moment at the end of the day. He's he's fuming. You could just see he's fuming. He's fuming. We're fuming, but how much fuming is he? He's obviously trained so hard. He's changed his whole team. In his mind, he's probably changed his whole life around, and he's fuming because he just probably couldn't have seen himself getting beat to that. That's why he goes, for him to beat me tonight, like, he's absolutely fuming. Like the first time, he could probably walk out and think, yeah, well, I probably didn't go into this fight how I should have. But he went into this fight fully focused, did everything right, and he's thinking, I've just done everything right, and I've still come up short. I'm fuming. But it happens. You get beat by the better man at the end of the day. But yeah, no, I'm upset, man, because I really wanted him to win, man.
Northern Migration, welcome. Stop arse licking AJ. This is pathetic.
What?
This is what fans of AJ do. It's all right now because we have to have all sorts of comments in there. There's going to be comments in there that we're not going to agree with. He's got this person with no profile picture that says stop arse licking AJ. This is pathetic. It's pathetic to you because you're obviously not an AJ fan, but we are, and we're openly AJ fans, and we're gutted that he lost. So we're going to have our opinions too. So I appreciate you coming in. I appreciate your comment. But if this isn't your type of channel, fuck off.
Sorry, just to what was that? Northern Migration. Just to give a bit of context to why we maybe seem like we're arse licking or whatever. You could put it down to any type of sport, or let's just keep it boxing. If this channel was a Mexican station on YouTube hosted by Mexican hosts and stuff like that and guests, and it was a Canelo fight, it would all be arse licking Canelo. If this was a Ukrainian YouTube channel, it would all be Lomachenko and Usyk mania, and no one would have a problem with it. So we're in British boxing supporting a British fighter. What is the problem with being pro-British fighter?
Tell him.
But do you know what this feels like though? I'm not gonna lie, yeah. I hate to have this moment, but I remember pulling up on the Wilder people when Wilder lost, and I'm pissed that that's what we're doing right now. I said
the same thing to KG. This is what it is. When you really get behind a fighter and they lose, you're pissed. So, but this is okay. And like I said, everyone is entitled to an opinion because that's what we're here for. This channel is open for everybody to give their 50 pence worth. But like I said, calling AJ a bum, no need, and then saying that we're being pathetic because we're gutted that a fighter that we like lost. How is that pathetic? How are you when your football team loses? Are you not angry? Do you watch football? What about in F1? Do you not get angry when, I don't know, Sebastian Vettel loses or whoever you back? This is what it is. Boxing is a passionate sport. Let us be open and honest and passionate that we're pissed that AJ lost. What's wrong with that? I don't get it. It's like, but the thing is, if we were crying because another fighter lost, no names mentioned, nonsense. Everyone would be crisp with it.
He's not having it. Listen, guys, I gotta go and chill back with the family. I love you lot.
Love you more.
It's peak. Mexico.
I'm sorry to hear about that round thing.
Oh yeah. Listen, you lot, love you lot, man.
Until the next time.
Peace, man. Look after yourself.
Next time.
Hey, Travis Usyk, you good?
Travis Usyk.
Oh yeah.
Go enjoy your holiday, bro. Go enjoy your holiday, fam.
Yeah, enjoy your holiday. Carefully get down them stairs.
Hey, we are in the mud. My football team shit. My favorite boxer got beat up. I'm stressed, bro. And I got no Wi-Fi. There's just some Wi-Fi right now. See you later. Have a nice lunch. I'm getting this ocean, bro. I'm just gonna swim.
And mind out, my boy Leon Edwards don't whack up your boy Kamaru Usman tonight too.
Oh yeah,
bro. I can't deal with another loss for Nigeria, bro. You just gotta pray for you gotta pray for him, bro. See you later.
Bless.
Hold on, let's bring in OTC. OTC, welcome.
What's going on, bro?
Travis, look at OTC's face.
I know, bro. He's feeling it, man.
Man's got the head wrap on, ready to go. Wow. You know, you were ready for. Man had a full outfit on, ready to celebrate.
I was ready to go for it, fam. Fam, this is depressing, man. Fam, I'm heartbroken, man. Guys, I'm heartbroken, man. This is painful, man. This is fucking painful. The AJ bit afterwards, bro. Oh my god. Oh, where do we begin? Tactically, I think AJ was very good. I can't say it was a 10 out of 10 performance, but it was very good.
He's better than he was last time. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah, but last time was a 3 out of 10, man. Like, I'm not gonna lie. He could have just turned up this time and he would have been better. Like literally, last time was that bad. I don't think he could have done anything different in this fight to change the outcome. Usyk was going to win regardless. Nothing that AJ could have done. AJ fought Usyk 24 rounds. And how many rounds of those has he really dominated? 3, 2, like really dominated. I'm not talking about just nicked a point here and really dominated, punched him and made Usyk hurt. But we need AJ more active. Like maybe not in fighting in the UK as well. Because I'm not gonna lie.
What do you mean?
A lot of UK like pundits, boxers, or like etc. They don't deserve to watch AJ, bro. The amount of madness I'm hearing from flipping Macklin, yeah, the Wallad from. Apologies, I'm going off on one. Flipping and all of these dons saying every time Usyk landed, oh fantastic, bro, sucking off flipping Usyk, bro. Oh, that got me mad. That got me frustrated.
Well, let me. Why are we getting him?
Sky Sports comms team were relentless today. They were.
I will watch it back. I'll watch it back and listen.
This Sky Sports Eddie Hearn DAZN beef is ruining sports commentary.
It's
bro,
toxic, isn't it?
Yeah,
toxic.
The fact they had other fighters on their card, like it was just nonsense, bro. Adam Smith couldn't wait to suck off these. It was just getting jarring, bro. I'm just like, listen, man. Like,
well, you know,
this ain't a YouTube channel, innit? Like, this is a paid thing. People have paid to watch what they're watching. You know what I mean? We can make our own rules up and decide who we're going to talk about, and that's cool. But these guys are on there just shamming nonsense through the air. And I'm like, bro,
Travis, you know what
they had the thing up 3-0 to Usyk in the first few. I'm like, bro. Like,
do you know what they called? Do you know what they called AJ in the leading up to the fight?
What?
You know, a British former champion. Is this what it's come down to? This guy made you guys a lot of money, carrying British boxing, and you don't call him like a former British champion or former world champion. But anytime they mentioned Usyk, they said skills, that flipping, sucking him off every 5 minutes.
Oh, bro, for real.
Is this what it's come down to? Nah, fam.
Gentlemen, sorry, I just need to interrupt. Miss Ringside, thank you very much. We've received a donation, the first October Red donation, may I say, by a female. So big up Miss Ringside, which she says big up October. Why was the corner telling him he was winning each round? Winning each round, Rasclart, I'm upset. AJ was in the fight thinking too much. He done well, but salute to Usyk. He had purpose. Thank you very much for that. And yeah, because I had it turned down. I didn't hear that he was winning every round. So that just is a catalyst to that shock where he's like, "You what?" Do you know what I mean? He just was like, "No, I've won."
He thought he won because in that last round, he didn't go for it. If somebody thought they lost in the last round, they would have went for it. His guy would, being thing, he was slipping a couple of shots. If he thought he was down on the scorecards, 11 rounds to 12, bro, the guy would have went for it. I hope
he would go for it. For me, he went for it, but he was so knackered. You could see he was falling in when he was trying to go for it. If you noticed in that last round, so he was trying to go for it, but he was just so knackered that he kept falling in. And he was getting the Usyk's does that lateral movement thing. So every time AJ's coming in, he's falling into the ropes and he was trying to sort of bore in. But he was too tired by then. He was still trying to throw body shots. But he started the body shots like after round 7 when I was saying he should have been doing that like the first 7 rounds. Because once you get tired, then body shots ain't going to have the same zap on them. Like he had a great 9th round where he seemed to hurt Usyk. But then after it was just like, Usyk ran away with it, man.
Yeah, and around round 9 with a guy that's so hard to trap, you get a moment like that, you've got to absolutely unload on him.
Hold on.
What's this?
Be honest with you guys, after watching that, both of them was shite. It was one of the worst heavyweight title fights I have ever seen. It was bullshit.
This prick.
I would annihilate both of them on the same night. Fucking shite. Right. Get your fucking checkbook out, because the Gypsy King is here to stay forever.
All he has to do is fight. All he has to do is fight.
Is he taking a line
He is
tonight or
funny.
something?
He's nah that and Motto just put in the chat. Check Tyson Fury's story, so I just went and had a look.
All Fury has to do is fight.
He does, but
Fight,
it's still that's Tyson
It's
Fury.
boring.
It's being Tyson Fury. It's being Tyson Fury.
Mm-mm.
That's who he is. That's who he is. You know what I mean?
And let's ignore this Don, bruv. Let's ignore this Don, bruv. He's not a serious fighter, bruv. I don't know what he is, bruv. He's not a serious fighter. In terms of AJ, he came up. You know what? I'll be honest with you. This version of Usyk that came from fighting his, in his home country, I don't think that the motivation from Usyk could have been tampered with, and I think that the version of AJ or the version of Usyk that came in front of AJ might have been the best Usyk that anybody could have fought, because of that extra motivation, because of that part where he was really hurt. He carried on, and there was a lot of Usyk fans. I was hearing, Alexander Usyk chants. To be fair, more so than I heard at Tottenham Hotspur ground. So it was that extra push that got him over the line. And yeah, I think AJ going forward probably just needs a warm up fight. He didn't look fully baked. I can see what they were trying to do, but him and Robert Garcia and Angel Fernandez partnership it looks good, but it doesn't seem fully marinated. I think a lot more time, a lot more fights, and I think that they will be fully set. I don't think it's fully marinated.
I don't know. What do you think that he could have done differently in there to possibly change? I've said like following up on the shots, possibly. But what do you think he could have done to actually secured a points decision? Because when we got to round 8 or 9, I knew it was going to go to points.
I don't think there's really much else AJ could. I mean, yeah, he could have stepped to get the pressure on. He could have done a bit more, but you got to remember, it's hard to nail this guy down. And if you're overexerting in those rounds, you're expending a lot more energy than he did.
Yeah.
And by the time we got to round 9, he fully unloaded after going after him and hurting him. 10, 11, 12, there was no follow-up.
That was it.
So if you expend more earlier, that happens earlier. So I don't think it's just one of those things. It's like he knows what he is. He knows he's not a 12-round fighter, and he's had to prepare for 12 rounds to stay with this guy. And it's like he's pushed himself to his limits on that way. But this is the thing. I think AJ's Achilles heel was always going to be shorter fighters. We saw it against Takam. He made a meal of that. Povetkin also gave him some issues. Ruiz is another one. These shorter guys give him issues. The taller guys don't pose the same problems to him. So it's like, for me, I just look at him like, bruv, sometimes the guy's got your number. And this is one of those. This is just that matchup for you. Maybe down the line, you rematch after fighting a whole bunch of other guys just for the old time's sake. But Usyk ain't going to be around that long anyway. So it's just one of those things, bruv. Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield, the guy had your number, fam. It don't matter what you did. There's no.
It's one of them, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. So
it is. It's one of them, but it's obviously it's personal, isn't it? And like I said, it's because of the aggravating factors around it. But shout out to Mr. Miracle. Round 8, people were saying that AJ was winning, but he wasn't hitting clean shots. And to me, it looked like Usyk played it for that. He was gassing AJ out, and it worked. It was very clear to me when watching. Fair point. And you, Mr. Miracle, you obviously watched it through non-biased eyes, and that does help. Comment here, Jay Greens, AJ needs to finally end the beef with Lewis. AJ needs to learn how to fight as a big man, like Lewis, the great, did, in my opinion. Ooh, interesting comment. Apologies. Is that Base? Sorry, Base. Apologies. I told you I'm not really good with this. Welcome, Base.
Yo.
What's happening?
Come on then. Here. Base the kid, everyone. I'm sure you know who he is already.
Hi, people.
What's going on, bro?
Yeah, man. I'm all right. I mean, I can tell most people, apart from Danny, probably ain't watched the video, because I said in my video, look, here's what I see happening. But I'm a person that I usually will be right, and I'd rather be right and unhappy than obviously wrong and happy about how things played out. This was one of those times where I wanted to be wrong.
I saw Base's picks. I watched it.
Yeah, I'm saying you're the only person I think would have watched it on the panel at the time, is what I'm saying. So I predicted that Usyk would win, but I wanted to be wrong. Like I wanted AJ to get it because everyone else, number one, everyone else wants it. It's big for obviously the British thing. It makes sense for him to have the belts for us. It might entice the Fury fight, and you can finally put that to rest as to look who is the man. Because that narrative is now going to be played tenfold. You know, Fury's not coming back for Usyk, no matter what he says on his Instagram story.
You reckon?
He's not coming back. He won't. And Usyk said in the ring, I don't even know if you heard this. He said, "If I don't fight Tyson Fury, then I don't fight again."
Oh, serious?
That's what he said. He said, "I want undisputed. I want to fight. He's the only one I want to fight."
So then he'll walk.
He'll walk. He'll get rid of the belts.
So the belts will go back in the air.
If Fury don't fight. So
was that because of Ukraine?
No, but that's a perfect cap off of a career, to be honest with you. He campaigns at cruiserweight, comes up, becomes unified,
and then leaves.
He's 35, right?
Yeah.
So he ain't really got mad years on top of that. So
not mad years, but ultimately his goal, as he said after the Chisora fight, my goal is to be undisputed heavyweight champion, not just champion, undisputed. So that's what he wanted, and that's been his goal. So for him not to get that, unless Fury fully throws the belt up in the air and says, "All right, cool," and then Mauricio Sulaiman allows him to fight for the vacant title against the number one contender, who would be Wilder, I suppose, at this point, or whatever. Unless that happens, I see him walking away. And at the end of the day, now no one can't question him, innit? That's pretty much what it is. Like there is no, whether you think he's too small to really be a hero, whatever, he's come up and he's done it. Like he's proved everyone wrong.
You can't deny that.
100%.
There's no one that can deny that, and that's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter who you want to win. You cannot deny that. Fury beats everyone, period. Northern migration, we've just got to see him fight.
We do.
And that is it. It's just when we see him fight, that's it.
What I want to say real quick, because I don't want to take up too much time for everyone else.
No, don't worry about that, man.
As I've said before, and I'll say it again, like, while I am not necessarily I was never super duper AJ. I was more Dillian White. I've always been more of a fan of White than AJ, if we're looking at it in terms of the two camps. But I've always respected AJ. I've always respected what he'd done, and I've never allowed blasphemy to be put on his name. Now, as much as, yes, he's got deficiencies, like everyone's got deficiencies. The problem is his ones are just on a much bigger pedestal because obviously he is the face of the British game, or he was. I mean, after tonight, I don't know, it could get techie. But yeah, ultimately he's taken all the hardest challenges. He's consistently fought top 10 opponents, which no one else can say they've done. He was a reigning champion for 5 years. Obviously lost the belts, got them back, but now, if he's really into the game like he really claims, then we're going to see now, because there's no road back to those titles for him for at least 2 years, 3 years. And that means he's going to have to be active as well, because he's not just going to be able to fight one fight and then get back into a mandatory spot. Like, they're not going to treat him like they treat Wilder.
I don't know, because he's still... You don't think he's still a money fight for anyone that has the belt to defend?
He's a money fight for people who have the belts, but the problem is he's gonna be he's gonna still want to command A side, and now that anyone else who's got the belts is probably gonna be
he's not.
He will.
You ever heard him try to command A side? Even in the rematch, you walk out first. There's no issues there.
No, he had to walk out first, but guess what? The money split 50-50. Remember, in the first fight,
but that's the contract. But
he negotiated that contract from a position of power. Even now, he's still going to be the commercial draw to anybody else.
Yeah, but that contract was drafted from the first fight.
That's right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But in the first fight, Usyk, I think, got something somewhere comparable to maybe 15%. It was like an 85-15 split. And he got 50. He said, okay, rematch will do 50-50. Obviously, the Saudi thing made it different because they weren't supposed to get the kind of purses they got now. Realistically, when it was thought of, it was never an $87 million fight. So they weren't getting 40 million apiece in the rematch initially. But he's always going to be able to command at minimum 50% of the pot. Again, and some of them, man, are going to have the ego to say no. And what I was saying about the rankings, if you look, while the back-to-back knockout losses, and he's still number one in the WBC, AJ lost on points and dropped down to like 4, 5, and 6, and 7 in the world rankings.
Is that BoxRec again?
No, that
or
I'm talking
ring?
about the actual the sanctioning belt rankings. Like
Oh,
the WBA,
right,
he
okay.
went down to like 5. In the IBF, he went down to like 6, and the WBO, he went down to like 4.
Wow.
So after a second loss, man's going to be down like 7, 8, 9. He might not even be in some of the rankings. So him going back to those belts is going to take a while. If he's really on it, we're going to see if he how much he really wants to stay in the game.
This is it, and that is a fair point. Usyk is a tactician of the highest order. Fury would get pieced up by him. Usyk is just levels above these other heavyweights. Eastern Bloc fighters are just special. Thank you for your comment. So you can comment about what you think, and you ain't got to be rude with it. Thank you. I can deal with stuff like that.
Guys, be nice, man. Come on, it's not the time.
No, yes.
What's your reason behind why you think Fury won't fight Usyk, by the way?
Because I think he will.
Because there's two reasons.
I'm based on this one.
Yeah, number one, I don't think the money that he wants to still fight is in that fight. Because remember, if you remember all the talking he did before about how the belt should be in the West and they don't belong in the East, and you need an English champion, all of that stuff, he's going to be like, well, these guys don't speak English. And he wants to be able to get into people's mind games and everything. Now, yeah, Usyk might understand a lot of English and whatnot, but he still doesn't speak it. Remember what happened with Fury and Ustinov? When he was at the press conference with Ustinov trying to talk to him and rile him up, but Ustinov looked like, I don't understand what you're saying. The Fury's like, they're setting me up. All of a sudden, he pulled out of the fight. If he can't get a rise out of you, he doesn't want to know because that's half of his battle. And he knows that he can't do that with Usyk. Plus, Usyk is Steve Cunningham on crack for him. And he doesn't have those problems.
For real.
Yeah, makes sense.
Even if he thinks he wins, he knows he's going to get the stop.
Boxing pound for pound, Jack. Why don't you jump in and debate on here?
Listen, pal, I might say something I might regret, so please, let's just on to the next one, bro. No more TC today. I've been humbled, fam. I've been humbled by AJ loss, fam. I don't know what I'm gonna do, fam. Oh, fucking hell. But I don't think Usyk's gonna fight, or Fury's gonna fight Usyk. I'm with base on this one because I think the whole point of him retiring to begin with was on the basis that Usyk was gonna win the rematch. He would only come out of retirement because of Anthony Joshua, because of that money, and because of the demand and the purse from Saudi Arabia. This guy's a prize fighter. Well, from what it appears like, it says Fury is just here for the money. Simple. And right now, there's nobody in Usyk. The public, the UK, the British public, would they really demand it? Would they really demand it?
Fury reckons he's such a global superstar and this and that. Why can't he take a fight to Saudi Arabia with Usyk if he really believes he is that global superstar?
Maybe he knows
what he says. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
He's not. If you think about it, look at him in the US. He never made none of his fights, apart from possibly the very last Wilder fight, actually made a profit. Every single fight he had lost his company money. He knows that he doesn't draw like in terms of that actual revenue. So
him and Frank Warren, though, remember they're talking about they broke the Wembley record, and you know they're such global.
But they still ain't released the pay-per-view numbers, though, have they? They still ain't told us how much money they made off the show. So that tells you all you need to know. 5 months down the line, and what did Frank say? Why do we need to talk about it? There's no point. That's what Frank said. If you made that money, are you not going to shout from the rooftops? You're going to shout from the rooftops if you made that money, Eli.
He'd be shrugging his shoulders. If he really made that bread, he'd be shrugging his shoulders.
Yeah, because he was big to talk about the 94,000 that supposedly was in attendance. but he won't talk about pay-per-view numbers. So clearly, you know what that means. So that's another time that Fury has lost these man money. The Saudis ain't gonna put that kind of money up for him, especially because they can't trust him. You never know what he's gonna do.
Whether you turn up or not. Excuse me, I need to shout out Fred Dunn. Thank you very much for the donation. I really appreciate it. Donation number 2 for the night. I'm bawling. This is why AJ reacted like that. It's the disrespect. I know this is going back in the chat, but yeah, this is it. Is you know when like everyone was saying at like the beginning of the week, you know, with what Johnny Nelson was saying. You know, is AJ going to be able to deal with another loss? Is he going to be okay to work his way all the way back up again, which is what Base has touched on? Or will he just say, you know what? I can't deal with this. Can he see himself being that B-list fighter when really he's been the A side for so long? Yes, I understand he lost to Usyk previously. So yeah, you know, he wasn't A side then. However, will he be able to deal with that? I don't know what your thoughts on that.
It's a tricky one.
Travis?
Yeah, it's a tricky one, isn't it? Because, you know, he never planned to be leaving the sport now. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think the road back is as long as it sounds. Do you know what I mean? Money talks, money dictates everything in boxing. If you're a money fighter, you'll get fast-tracked. Yeah? One significant performance and he's back into the mix. All the narrative becomes is, yo, he's back, and then the big fight comes. And the guys, whoever has the belt, however the belt situation goes, either way, what we do know is that Fury and Usyk ain't going to be around that long. Now, if AJ did plan to stay around for another 2 years, he'll still be there. Wilder is probably a conversation that will be in the mix. The Dillian White fight can get talked up, and it be the rematch of that. Like
I think that's what's going to come next.
Yeah, a Joe Joyce fight could even happen. Like the whole Joe Joyce AJ back and forth was going on there. Like the fact is, if AJ decides this is back, he's not going to be a long road back.
OTC, sorry, just before you go, I just want to sort of touch on something Trav just said. You see, when you say that AJ is the money man and whatnot, yeah, he is. But let's look at the amount of issues he had getting certain fights when he had the belts. You really think he's going to get them fights now? When he doesn't have them, and he's still with Eddie
because
Hearn,
people are cheeky. They'll see
he's been
people are cheeky. They'll be cheeky. They will see him as food. They will try. They will want that name on their scalp. So I think fights.
The only ones that will take that fight are those young up and comers. Anyone who's in and around the mix now, they're not gonna because remember he's still with Eddie Hearn, and for all we know, none of these people seem to like Eddie Hearn for some reason. Everyone who's got a name wants to freeze him out or wants to. They don't want to curtail to match him. So I definitely think the road is a lot harder back than what Travis. It might not be as long as maybe I'm saying, but I think it's harder than what you're predicting, Trav. Just wanted to say that.
I mean, obviously, the politics behind the thing with Eddie Hearn and every promoter freezing out Hearn. The fact is, AJ had the belt and was trying to get a fight with Fury and Wilder, and these men just froze him out. Like the game has been stupid on that front. But I don't think it's going to be that long because money talks. He's a valuable opponent still. Like, and if you think you can beat him, then go do it. Go get paid. And I don't think many are going to be trying to roll the dice on AJ like that.
In terms of activity, in terms of activity, and who's going to fight him, he has to stay active. If you fight 2 fights a year and you know for 6 months he's negotiating a contract for for a fight, he's not going to get a world title shot until he's fully old. Okay, so he's got to stay active. Do you know what? At least fight by the end of the year against a notable top 20 name. At least somebody. Give them a lot of money. Get yourself back out there again. AJ has to basically. He can't be on this, Vladimir Klitschko, Mayweather. I'm taking majority of the purse anymore. He's got to say, okay, listen, guys, 60-40 for whoever gets into the ring with me next, and entice them with money. But he's got to stay active. If he stays active, he could get to a title shot fairly soon if he wants to. But that's on him, and he has to think about what his goals are now.
Yeah,
what's my goals?
Yeah, good.
The earliest he'll probably get out then, if you're saying another one this year, would be December because we're in August now. But then also going back to the road back, I don't know I don't think it would take 2 years because you got to remember Wilder, he's on back-to-back losses, and he's basically in a semi-finals now for the WBC crown.
Yeah,
with
but
his
that's because. But it's not that Wilder's got the. There's a double standard in it. AJ ain't gonna get that treatment, is what Base is saying, and AJ's never got special treatment, so it's that situation more so than it is about what should happen.
Yeah.
Can I just respond to that comment from
respond to it? Because it'd be better if they just jumped in the chat, but
it would be, but it's fine. Like, yes, apparently it was £20 million of gate money, but they paid $41 million for the fight. We don't know. The pay-per-views clearly didn't match the rest of the revenue because the BT Sport gets 35 to 50% of the money from each pay-per-view. So they would have needed to do at least 1.4 million pay-per-views just to break even with that 20 million gate money. So, you know, whatever you've got to say next, pull it up and I'll respond to that as well. And I will do it respectfully, in a disrespectful way.
Can you guys put a poll up, Fury versus Usyk or Fury versus Joshua? What if you had to do it? This has made me smile because I needed something to make me smile. Thank you, UPFB 1986. 94,000 shoulder rolls from Fish Eyes. That's made me smile. It's interesting to see, but the thing is, and Space Cakes, apologies. It's good to have the different types of points of view. Because this is what this is for. This is for everyone with different points of view to come in and put their 50 pence worth in. Like I said, as long as it's not disrespectful, everyone's entitled to have different opinions. Because if we all thought the same, it'd be boring. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, Fury. A lot of people are saying Fury would beat Usyk easily, but we just need to see Fury fight.
I just want to see Fury do it.
That's the point.
If that's what you believe,
Sorry, I'm saying, isn't that the one thing that we're all pissed about? Because everyone's talking Fury will do X, Y, and Z, but he doesn't do it. We don't want to hear you defend him before he's done the job. Like, remember, no one was giving Usyk that grace period. No one was giving Anthony Joshua that, oh, he's just going to bang out this person and that person. Yeah. He had to get in the ring to do it, to prove it. So if Fury can do it, and yes, he definitely can, because he's 6'8.5" or whatever is, and he's about 60 pounds heavier than him. I don't think he's 60, man. But that aside, like 60, 70 pounds heavier than the guy. If you grab him, you lean on him all night, you can probably do what people claim you can do. But we want to see it because talk is talk and talk is cheap.
Yeah,
people ain't got money talk. You know what I mean? Anyone can talk.
Yeah. And this is a fair comment by Jamdown187. AJ is 33. He's not trying to go through the gauntlet with the politics.
33 is not old though. It's young still as a heavyweight, to be fair.
Yeah,
true, because some of them are turning pro at 30. But how long's he been in the game? 10 years.
10 years.
Travis, much love and thank you.
No worries. All right, you can pick up.
I mean, yeah, he's been in the game 10 years, and 33 is not old for a heavyweight, but you got to remember, like, the level of money he's already made. Now it's not about, like before, most people are fighting. He did boxing as a way to escape a certain lifestyle or whatever. Now he's got the money to escape that lifestyle. So do you really need to go through that grind?
What's your purpose?
What do you want to go through those young up and comers that are now hungry, that want what you got to, those ones that have no choice but to get up and run in the morning, whereas you can chill in your bed if you really want to. Your house is different levels. These men will look at your house and say, that's what I'm aspiring to, so I have to do this to get there. You've already got it. And that's
his sponsorships are more than their purses, because he's on every billboard basically when you walk around.
Although I think a lot of those are gone after tonight, if I'm honest.
Yeah, but
and it's not because of the loss. I do that outburst, as much as people are obviously explaining, look, how the mindset could be. I get that, but like when the nation ain't really on your side too tough anyway, and you've got a moment to get them back on your side, because people was championing the better performance. Everyone's like, well, he performed a lot better than he did last time, and then you go and do that, and then what makes it worse, because you've done it on Sky now. So whoever was looking on Sky is one thing. Carl Froch was on the program afterwards. Is like, look, you can't disrespect the Ring Magazine belt the way you did. Like you threw that thing to the ground. I've never held that. I wanted that belt in my, and I never got that belt. That's personal to me. And a lot of men are saying that. So throwing down belts that ain't even yours, like
that AJ's never actually won as well. He's never actually won that belt before.
No, he didn't.
Exactly. And
this was the one that was on the line.
It's like you're dashing down something that you've never even held before to try and say, "Oh, this don't mean nothing." Well, you can't say that because you never, you know, you didn't win it. It was on. If you didn't care, because the thing is, if AJ didn't care about the belts, he would have rematched Usyk and said, "Unsanctioned, forget the belts. I just want to beat you." Then the belts wouldn't have been on the line. No, the belts was on the line for a reason, because you knew the belts is your way to stay in the division.
Yeah.
So you can't now come with the rant of, I don't care about these, or who cares about these, they mean nothing, and then dash them down. So that's now putting a disrespectful mark on the game. And then you go with the rant and the effing and blinding, and yeah, cool, like it's emotional, whatever. But now that you've broken character that you've set up for these 10 years in front of the nation, after they're not really that set on you anyway, and these endorsers will be like, well, this isn't the person that we paid all this money to. This isn't who we was endorsing. Talking about busting case and like, you know what I mean? Like it was the wrong time. So
for real.
And also, yeah, and as you said, remember Carl Froch, because he fought for that belt when he lost to Andre Ward in the finals. So obviously he's fought. Man, I never got that. And then AJ's had his chance now, and he's thrown something he didn't actually ever win, which was the wrong time. And yeah, all right, it's fair enough. He's talking about his story and stuff. He was in a bit of a state or whatever. But and then also another thing which I noticed is that someone said, none of his team stopped him. Only his cousin Benga, when it's like AJ was trying to go for someone at one point in the ring.
Yeah.
His cousin had to pin him in the corner, and then
walked him out, but then let him come back. I was like,
yeah,
that's
it's unexpected. But like I said, that flip just switched.
Yeah, you know what?
Don't be a sore loser. You got to talk on the mic, but he didn't expect him to grab the mic off Usyk like that.
Yeah.
What's up, fellas? What's up, people?
What's up, Bruce?
Welcome, Bruce.
Big up, Bruce.
What up? Man, as OTC said, pure disappointment, man. But I think what we saw, man, was emotional breakdown, like firsthand. I think boxers in general go through way more than we think they do, and when you're the face of heavyweight boxing, and you carry, like, apart from a couple names, you carry the boxing world on your back. And for the last 9 months, you've had people, probably like boxing experts to the just casual fan, run up to you and say, like, roadman settings this time. You got to do what you need to do this time. We know you can beat him this time. It's a lot. And I think someone put in the chat, which I agree with, it was the realization. It was the realization that I went away, I did what I needed to do. And it's not like, yeah, you know what? I got absolutely mashed down. I got sparked out. I got mashed down. Fair play. It was almost like a frustration that he was like, well, I went 12 rounds. I kind of had my moments. He's probably reflecting in the heat of the moment and going, why didn't I capitalize on certain things? Why didn't I do certain things? And then the frustration of just like, yo, I'm really like this guy who I thought I was going to come back and do the Andy Ruiz special in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, for real.
And it hasn't happened. And that, coupled with the pressure of being Anthony Joshua, it can make anybody snap. And regardless of what, you know, people think he goes through or what he hides or what he doesn't, we just saw that firsthand. That was it. Sad to see, because I think, you know, he could have dealt with it a little better, but it can't be easy. And I don't think any of us know that pressure until we're there. I will say there are a couple of times I thought to myself, you know, if he'd have capitalized a little bit more on certain things, and I know Red and Travel were like screaming like I was. A couple of times he had his moments and like he was smiling a bit, but he didn't follow up. I just thought to myself, dude, like, do you really have that killer? Because I kept
put it in the chat. Yeah,
I kept on thinking to myself, you know, and I hate to go back to the golden era. I do, but I have to, because there are so many fighters from that era that did have that, or when they say they're going out on smoke, they're going out on smoke. When you see they show their mouth guard and they bite down and they start swinging for the fences, that's what it is. And like, I felt like we saw too much of a, you know, a calm, collected AJ in those moments when he had good moments. You know what I'm saying? When everyone in their nan was saying, at the point where he corners him or he gets him or he's in the inside or he works the body and he can see that the body work is working, let's go. That's the moment to shine. Why didn't he shine?
But
That
Bruce,
was, you know,
the
that's
thing
another
is,
thing that I think
I
is
get what you're
you know,
saying. I get what you're saying, and I don't mean to cut you. Apologies.
No.
But what the thing if you remember in his rant, he said, people want me to be throwing these combinations. I'm not a 14-stone man.
Yeah,
like
that's
the old,
right.
like the old man.
Yeah,
I'm,
he did
I'm
say
18
that.
Yeah,
stone.
and I think, yeah, you're right, Basin. I think that was also very telling about him owning up to his own, almost like, you know, shortcomings as a boxer. You got to imagine what kind of mindset someone's going to be in to, after the fight, say, well, look, they think I'm this and I'm not, and I don't have an amateur pedigree. It's almost like you're saying, I'm really sorry I let you all down. You all thought I was going to be this on smoke guy, but that just didn't happen because I'm just not built like that. You know what I'm saying? And I felt, I thought that was just, it was sad, and it was really telling that someone like AJ had to feel like he had to do that in that moment. Because if the pressure wasn't as much as it was, maybe he would have walked out or given an interview and gone, yeah, Usyk was the guy, man. Like, I bought my A game, but it weren't that.
But I think that was healthy. I think that was healthy that he did that, because had he not gone in the ring and done that, and he's gone and taken that home, and he's had to keep that in his chest and in his heart and on his shoulders, you don't know what that would have done to him. So sometimes
it's true, but I feel like that was post-fight presser talk. That was post-fight presser talk. He should have.
I think it was just, you're right. In the ideal world, I totally agree with you. There should have been. There's a time and there's a place for, you know, a possible outburst or whatever. But you see when when you've got that pressure on you and then you don't get the result that you want, coupled with external factors, and one that I need to listen back to the fight is the fact that he was told he was winning. This is shock. Like I said, he's someone that always sits there and he's always the one that has the decorum and doesn't run his mouth off and doesn't do anything, and he's just flipped. Yes, you're right. It wasn't the right place to do it, but this is him. He's flipped.
I read something that someone read somewhere, and I wanted to get all your guys' take on it. Is that they said that in the first fight, the way he lost, you could almost say, okay, he came with the wrong strategy, so we'll allow him, and we'll say, okay, let's go and make it right. But this loss is much more telling, because he knew exactly what he had to do, and he couldn't do it. Does that tell us more about his skill level and where he's at than the first fight did?
Yeah, it's what it tells us is that his skill level is at a certain level, but against someone who is just better than you, your game plan has to be flawless, or you have to be able to go to certain depths that, you know, so it's not even a skill level, because he was winning a lot of those, even rounds where other people was given to Usyk. I was actually giving them to him sort of in the first half, like not because necessarily he was throwing more, but he was being more effective, and he was actually timing Usyk, so he was able to get the timing. But the problem he had was that, number one, he had to manage his gas tank, because that whole he was never gonna just, I'm gonna give it my everything for 6 rounds and get knocked out. No one wants to get knocked out. And he thought if I can steadily wear him down and I can go the distance, or I can take it further along the line, I'll be able to catch him with something when he's a bit worn down as well, if I invest enough in the body. So his skill level is at a certain, like, it's not like top set elite, but it's like lower level elite. It's good enough to beat the majority. It's just unfortunate that it's not good enough to beat someone like Usyk, who's just mentally a lot stronger and a lot more switched on, a lot more focused than him, plus quicker, and sort of just better movement and just better fluidity in the ring.
Yeah,
A better boxer.
Danny, I wanted to ask you a question as well. Seeing as you know, obviously you've been around Spider a lot. When AJ had the opportunity to like capitalize, and who's saying it? Truth First Missions, saying it like when he hurt Usyk a couple times, but he didn't go for it and he didn't follow up. If you're not scared of the power, has Craig ever mentioned like what makes you not go for it, even though I've hurt him? I could go for this. They don't have the power to KO me. What causes the pause? Why the hesitation? Because Craig and other people are looking back. But man, I should have gone for it. Well, have you ever sat down and figured out like what goes through their mind? Why the pause?
Yes, I have, and also I can speak on personal experience when I used to box. There's two reasons. One, especially someone who is by nature who likes pull counters and stuff like that. People like Craig, Floyd Mayweather. You think automatically, even though your opponent don't necessarily throw counters, you think if I rush in, what if I get pull countered or something like that? And two, they worry also about if I unload and expend everything, and I don't really know how much is left on the clock, and then I'm now breathing heavy. Will my face not be poker enough where he then comes at me, and I've now got to deal with it while I'm gassed? So the main thing I think is about not emptying the tank like Yard did, and then you've got to deal with a lot of pain afterwards.
Right.
And that's what makes them pause.
Guys, excuse me for 1 sec. You carry on. 1 sec. Excuse me.
On that, for me, this, and I know this might sound mad, but I think AJ should have done that. I think if AJ would have emptied out the tank, one, he would have got a lot more respect from the public. Everybody would have thought probably, there's nothing more he could have done in the fight. And two, he may have even though he may have been knocked down and got up a couple of times, he may have just he may have just been a Klitschko moment. He may just knock out Usyk from doing that.
Yeah,
but I think AJ wanted to finish on his feet.
I have to agree.
That's the part where
someone said in a comment as well, straight after the fight, if you're walking back to the change room and you've got gas, I can't respect you. You're supposed to leave that thing in the ring on the 12th round. And from the 12th round, I was like, dude, you should be emptying you should be running after him on some madman thing.
But he couldn't move in the 12th. You saw that he was gassed out.
He should have took the knockout, man. He should have took the knockout.
He had 5% left, man.
Also,
use it.
Bruce, it's very easy for us to sit here as bloodthirsty viewers and say, empty your tank and just get iced. As a grown man, no one's trying to get iced. You know what I mean? No one's trying to really get iced out here.
Especially now in today's boxing too. It's very, very
with YouTube and Twitter and memes and everything. You don't want that.
It's very different.
And you got to remember, even though he hurt Usyk, you've also got to think to yourself, he's thinking to himself, Usyk, this isn't the first time this man's been hurt. And as a pro, he's never been off his feet. So there must be a reason as to why that is. So remember, AJ is a person that thinks about everything. So if he's hurt him and the guy's backed up towards the ropes or he's slipping and sliding, rolling, he's like, okay. So he knows how to protect himself. If I start swinging on him now, like you said, maybe I'm going to get caught with something. Or if I leave it all in the ring at this precise moment and I've got nothing left, I've already experienced what this guy can do. Like whether he's hitting me with his hardest shots or his softest or the pity patters, like he's catching me. And I don't want to have to take 15, 20 of those before my win kicks back in and I can maybe hit him with a 1 or 2 again. So those are the times where you have to think to yourself, okay, maybe I can't flurry him, but let me reset and see if I can dig another one hard shot in and maybe see if I can get him out with the one shot rather than trying to swarm him. And I think that was his mindset. Like if I go for one shot, it's not going to tire me out as much as trying to hit him with 3, 4 or 5. So
Base, I think he could win for it, man. Honestly,
he could have, but again, these are things that are in man's mind. Like you can, it's in his mind in the first fight. He said it, so you can tell that's not just leaving you straight away.
And you got to remember, there's been a few fighters who've gone for it on Usyk and they've become croppers when they gas. Remember, Tony Bellew was doing very well. I had him actually up until he gassed and got knocked out. Derek
Agreed.
Chisora done very well early. Gas, got punched up. So you got to remember that. And even when Bruce, you was asking about the Craig thing, you've got to remember the tactics Joshua Buatsi was using in that fight. So if Craig goes for him early on in round 10 or was it 9? Because he hurt him
9.
at the end of
9, yeah.
round 8, innit? So if he goes for him early in round 9, sorry, and we know Joshua Buatsi likes to do that mad salvo, he's thinking about, all right, so if I blow the basket now, then and Buatsi throws his mad salvo, it could get a bit sticky, can't it? So you got to conserve yourself and be very tactful with how you go about your expenditure of energy, and that's what AJ does. And but what it is with AJ, it's a bit annoying. He's a bit like a choreographed dancer with his boxing. It doesn't seem like it comes natural to him. You can see even the way he moves. He moves like a road, like a roadman who tries to fight. You can tell he moves like a street guy who's trying to box. Nothing is
100%.
naturally flowing. And so it's always an F, and that's why he overthinks things, because it's like a choreographed dancer. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5. Oh no, I've missed a step.
Yeah,
right.
that
1, 2, 3,
And
and
1
4,
and
5,
2. Yeah.
7,
Okay.
8.
That's why a lot of the fighters, a lot of the old school, they'd be dancing. And if you notice, one fighter that does do a lot of dancing is Tyson Fury. Love it
And
or hate
Usyk.
it, they dance.
And Lomachenko.
They dance.
Yeah, they dance because that natural rhythm, you've got it in them, and it's a way for them to expend their mental frustration and their energy. So whenever they've got stress on them, they go dancing.
Yeah.
Evander Holyfield used to do it as well when he was
did
vexed. He'd go to the club, just shake a leg, or he'd be in the gym just dancing because it releases stress, and it's a way to maintain your focus. So when they was doing the promos in Saudi, and Joshua was in the ring, they did the face-off, and Usyk went into the crowd and started dancing. Joshua was looking like, what's this guy doing? Usyk's literally releasing all that tension and frustration right then and there. So while Joshua's all built up and tense, he's flowing. And that's one of these things that AJ would also need to learn. Like, you have to find the mechanism that works for you, but dance is one of those things. And by being a natural dancer, that rhythm and that fluidity is going to come. Because to be honest, he was actually boxing. His style was a lot more fluid than it normally is.
Correct.
Like, so if he implements those kind of things, he could definitely become a much more fluid and sort of that, just a looser fighter.
But there is one thing. There is one thing that I want to touch on. Rai Relo's put Ali did ballet as well.
That's true.
I because obviously was doing the watch along, I did not hear the commentary. I will go back and watch it, but
disgraceful.
I need the commentary itself is what it is. The corner advice is what I want to touch on. So when AJ's coming back in from each round, obviously we don't get to hear every single round, and we hear snippets of the corner because they'll switch from corner to corner. So which rounds was AJ coming back into his corner and his team were telling him that he was winning every round? What round was he in?
I think it was the 4th round when they said it. It was the third of the 4th. And then they said again in the 7th, he's like, look, like you're still up on the cards. So when he was, that I think it was the 7th or the 8th round when he put his head down, he was like really starting to sort of gasp. He's like, look, you're up on the cards. So like, but you just gotta go. You gotta maintain this. You gotta go for it. You gotta attack him. You gotta finish him off now.
Okay.
So they said it twice that I heard, but.
Do you think that was a tactic then? Do you think that was a tactic for them to keep him positive rather than bring his level? I'm not saying this is right or wrong, by the way, but I'm saying there's a tactic for him to say, okay, you're up on the cards, but you need to knock him out, rather than saying you need to get a knockout here. Would you agree that might have been a tactic?
No, I think they thought he was up on the cards because he was doing better than what they was expecting him to do. Because remember, in a lot of those rounds, the ones that some of us, we was giving to him because we thought he was more effective, Usyk was still outlanding him, and he was still hurting him and catching him with clean headshots, even though AJ was going to the body. Because remember, a lot of times you don't score body shots to the same degree that you score headshots in a professional in a professional fight or an amateur fight. So like the body work is about investment for later on, whereas the head is like the here and now. So I feel like some of it they thought he was doing better, and then they thought, well, he hasn't won every round, but he's still well up. He must still be up on the cards. Because I had it 4-2 to AJ after 6 rounds.
Yeah. Okay. So, what are your thoughts on the style that he came with in order to get inside? The taller, rangier fighter dipping down to the shorter fighter level, which is sometimes seen as taboo in boxing. I don't know what your thoughts on that.
I said, well, in my video, I said that he needs to aim for his chest. Don't be dipping to the body. Like, aim everything towards the chest, because then you can still stay at your same level, your same range anyway. Make everything
Just
hard.
punching slightly down.
Yeah, just everything hard to the chest, and then when you manage to like double jab him that way, or manage to get yourself to the inside, that's when you clinch, and that's when you go for the body. When you're already on the inside and he can't work as much, and that's when you do kidney shots. That's when you attack the ribs, hit him on his hips, or whatever you need to do. Be dirty.
And I didn't see enough jabbing or enough pouring to the chest to set up those shots either. I was like, well, like even like they always say, like throw it out, use it as a distraction, use it as a measure. Like I saw loads of like twisting from the hips, loads of like level changes, but I didn't see that like just even flick it out. No one's saying power jabs, but you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't see that to set anything up. So I was like, I don't know, man.
No, but on that, Bruce, like for me, honestly, I think AJ threw quality body shots, but the problem is that he was given a lot of space between him and Usyk. He wasn't close enough. When he was very close, the body shots were flying. Usyk could have hacked it, but there was a large portion of the fight he was looking for that body shot. Whether he's set up or not, he's too far away. Usyk's too quick. He has to close him down completely. And I know Usyk was too quick, but sometimes you just literally have to run to a man. Like, do whatever you got to do and just attack that body. Like, and go for it. Because if you're too far, and I said this before, I said this yesterday, if you give Usyk time and space to move, this guy is going to punish you. And AJ gave him not enough time. He's still coming up with this whole flip, half-assed, jabbed half the time. And it wasn't medicine enough.
Yeah, but the reason why is because AJ is not a jabber like that. He's never been a jabber. Like when people keep saying tall and rangier, AJ don't fight tall and rangy. Tall and rangy is like a Shakan Pitters type guy. And even him, his bad habit is he dips his knees too low, so he gives up his height a lot. But AJ's not a tall, rangy fighter. He is tall, but he's not a range. Like Fury uses range. AJ don't use range. His best assets is when he reels off combinations on the inside, uses uppercuts and stuff like that, which he wasn't throwing enough of either towards the head. Even though Usyk's head seems very hard because he takes a good headshot. But as you said, he was leaving too much space where you're meant to get inside and Ricky hatting up them ribs, and he wasn't doing it.
Yeah. And Jamdown's put a comment in there, and this is another thing, obviously, from the comments, the commentary I didn't hear. In the 6th or 7th, Angel shouted, AJ, what hand? The following round, AJ was shaking his left hand. See, all of this stuff I'm missing because I'm not listening to the comms because I'm like watching what's going on. Did anybody see that?
No.
But I
also,
didn't catch it whatsoever.
Also, when you guys was talking about the when I think they said in round 3 and 7 that he's up. All right, fair enough. After round 3, I think most of us had the AJ 2-1 up, so maybe that was a fair assessment. But then after round 7, I wouldn't have had AJ up.
This for me is a problem because in the first fight it was brilliant AJ, fantastic AJ, carry on what you're doing AJ. And if all what say this thing, because I heard a lot of people say this, and I believe so, then maybe they need to hire somebody else to literally just score the fight. Something so simple. And they can go to him and say, well, you got it.
Let me ask everyone a question. If the split decision had gone the other way, would we still have the same praise for Usyk? And would it have been the craziest robbery we've seen since Triple G Canelo?
No,
Bruce, I will care less. If Usyk was robbed in this fight, I promise you, I would have been dancing, cheering. I would have been shameless about it. Yeah. So I can't lie. I would have been doing knee slides around the house. I won't care less.
100%.
I can't lie. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
Yeah. But I'm just wondering, because of the praise for Usyk, I'm just wondering if people would have had the same praise if AJ would have won by split decision. Because
we would have.
You know what I'm saying?
Had the same praise for who?
For Usyk, if AJ had won the split decision.
Us in here or the general
No,
public?
just generally, because I've heard some like AJ was absolutely schooled. He's a wizard, and I'm saying it was a split decision. Remember, so if it went the other way, would we have that same praise?
We would have just we'd have just shamelessly celebrated, knowing it was a hometown job. But we're happy for the what do we say? The best of two evils is best for the world of boxing that AJ won, because we've got to keep Canelo and AJ on top. Canelo's had gift decisions, so why can't AJ get one? We'd have spun it.
But you know that's just not right. It shouldn't happen like that.
I mean,
you know what I mean? I was hoping for a robbery.
I mean, look,
it didn't happen.
On my video, I said,
real.
I can't lie. On my video, I said, if it goes to the cards, AJ wins this fight. I was adamant about that. So I technically got that wrong. I thought there was, as long as he stays on his feet and doesn't get put down, he wins, because the world the game needs him to be champion more than Usyk. So I'm proud that they actually didn't do that. But that being said, it should have never been a split decision.
Oh shit! Wait there. Sorry to interrupt, Base. I've just got to quickly say to SK, thank you very much for the £2. According to CompuBox, AJ outlanded Usyk through 9, and then Anye Bucci Ize, apologies if the pronunciation is incorrect, said AJ is crying at the press conference. What? Where's that press at?
Oh, please.
Oh, that would be on Matchroom, on the Matchroom boxing channel, or DAZN or Sky. It'd be on one of those.
Mate.
What is it, on YouTube?
Yeah, it would be on YouTube.
Know.
The post-fight
Will it be on YouTube?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find it. Sorry to interrupt.
Right,
pound for pound, Jack, you need to come in the you've got the most to say, but you never jump on any of the channels. I'm telling you now, Fury will stick to Usyk like glue. 6'9" of inside fightingness.
Yeah, AJ's demeanor doesn't look great, guys. It's like
if you can't see.
Yeah, I've got it on right now. This is the way his face looks. It don't look good at all. I can't really hear, but Eddie looks like he's talking some passionate madness. He looks upset too, but AJ
turn up the volume. Can you turn up the volume?
Yeah, hold on one second.
So we can listen.
He will never tell you that the pressure, he sees that or he feels it, but it's impossible not to. So what I want to see is I want to see him happy, and I think what we want to see is we want to see him be active. Too many gaps between fights, too many stadium fights. You know, from the Dillian White fight at the O2 to Charles Martin at the O2 to Dominic Brazil at the O2 to Eric Molina at Manchester Arena to Vladimir Klitschko at Wembley Stadium to Carlos Takam at the Millennium Stadium to Joseph Parker at the Millennium Stadium to Alexander Povetkin at Wembley Stadium to Andy Ruiz at Madison Square Garden to Andy Ruiz in Riyadh to Kubrat Pulev at the O2 to Alexander Usyk at Tottenham Hotspur. Alexander Usyk. That is the run that Anthony Joshua has been on. No Tom Schwartz. No Sefer. No, I do, because you don't get the credit. No, but I'm going to give you the credit.
Oh, I think
at the end of the day,
I think Eddie's been crying too.
To carry the sport.
Wow.
We joked before.
I'm watching it now.
These tough fights. You saw people have these easy fights. You never had them. You never wanted them because you want to create a resume. Yeah, because you're a fighter. You're a winner. You wanted to fight the elite. You fought the pound for pound, back to back. Right? At Tottenham, you lost. Tonight, you lost a split decision to the best fighter in the sport. Everybody else would have vacated the WBO belt before the Tottenham fight. So I will say, because people take easy touches, fans moan
about fighters ducking fights, taking easy touches.
Yeah, Eddie's going off. Eddie's going off for sure.
You know what it sounds like?
Eddie's a hypocrite.
No, Eddie's gonna start throwing his
somebody just
fighters
said
in the slaughter now. They're all going in.
Yeah. But Eddie's a hypocrite because he's talking about all the stadium fights, but he's the one that chose all them fights, the inactivity between fights.
Turn around and come back in the ring. And what you were trying to say post-fight in that speech.
It's more like when you try and do things from your heart, no one's really going to understand. And it was just from the heart, right? I knew
the glum faces say it all, man. Oof. Anyway, I've got to bounce,
and the
guys.
thing is, on
big love to everyone, man.
Bruce, respect. Thank you.
Oh, later on, Bruce.
Yes.
I went to an event that AJ did with Chucky back in 2020, like January, like just before the pandemic happened.
Yeah.
And he was like, I want to be more active. Like I'm looking to I need to be fighting 3 or 4 times a year or something like that. Then all of a sudden, man don't fight again till like that December. Obviously the pandemic is one thing, but it's like you had the opportunities to fight. And then the following year, it's one fight again, and then it's one fight again. So the whole thing about learning on the job and everything, okay, if you're learning on the job, then you need to be more active.
More active.
You can't just be looking for the big stadium fights every minute. So he does have to take some of the blame for how certain things are panned out.
But 2 years in a row, Eddie ain't gonna stick him in his back garden, is he?
He could have. But I'm not even talking, forget the back garden. Like remember, he put out the O2 on several occasions for residency and like other little smaller venues. Have him fight in a smaller venue against a quote unquote tune-up. Let him work on some things. Because remember, there was no one in the crowds. So AJ can't then now say, well, I want 16 million or 20 million to do this. No, just take a 1-2 million to work on some stuff.
But at Wembley Arena fight though, he had people in the crowd, remember?
Yeah, no, I'm saying that's that one. But when there was no chance for people in the crowd, he could have still fought because he said at this event that he wanted to fight. He wanted to be active. And he keeps saying, I really want to be active, but these fights take a long time to work. Well, they don't have to take a long time. That means you're letting them take a long time.
But do you think, though, seriously, like looking at this, obviously emotions are high at the moment. Everyone's got to go to sleep and think on it. Do you think AJ will want that? It's almost like you win in the lottery. You don't buy your house outright. You think, okay, I'll take a risk. I'll get a mortgage. But then you gamble and you lose all your money. Then your Chris house, your mansion that you've worked for it. You're paying a mortgage. Everything's good. You got to go and live back in, I don't know, a 1-bedroom bedsit. Do you understand? I'm saying when you've been at them levels, like I said, is he going to say, you know what, I still want to do this?
October, he's got to. He's got to.
Yeah. You and I are saying that. I'm saying.
No, I agree with you. But what I'm saying is, what I'm talking about is like the whole being inactive for the stadium stuff. Because remember, what he's always said is he needs activity, right? So if he knows that he's guaranteed 1 stadium fight a year, or even 2, then you can throw a quick journeyman or like a top 30 kind of guy in there in the O2 or at York Hall or whatever as like a special attraction thing just for you to work on some stuff. Because now that's not supposed to take away from your stadium fight that's guaranteed. That's extra money in your pocket. Because remember, every time you're not in the ring from that particular field of your life, you're not getting paid, right? You only get paid when you fight. So it's almost like when you go, you've got a full-time job, and then you say, all right, well, I've got a full-time job. I'm earning 40K a year, but you know what? My brethren needs me to run him up the road somewhere to move some stuff with him, and he's gonna give me a couple £100. That's a couple £100 I didn't have. So guess what? Now I've done him a favor. I've got a little extra. I've got some spending money in my pocket. I can save the other money from my salary and put that towards the house or something.
But AJ is not in the position where he needs money that he didn't have. This is what I'm saying. It's got to be bigger than that. And is he going to want to do that? This is what I'm saying. Forget the dough. It's about, is he gonna want to do it when
that's the
he's
thing.
had his?
Yeah, it's not about. No, I get what you mean, but it's not about
Yeah.
the goal. If he says I want the activity, then the money doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter because if you're saying I want the activity, you understand that comes at a lesser price bracket. So now you choose. All you do is you say, okay, well, because I want the activity, I will just lower the standard of my competition for me to be able to work on X, Y, and Z. So when I have to face the mandatory or the big test, I've got more tools in the tool bag now because I've been working on stuff. Have been able to implement things under the hot lights. So then the money doesn't mean anything at that point.
Yeah, but babe, with regards to just activity, that is one. I'm not giving it on Eddie. I'm not sticking on Eddie because Canelo Alvarez. I'm not being funny. Canelo Alvarez, who's probably earning a very similar money, has been a lot more active than Anthony Joshua. He probably fought what 3-4 times in the space of about 12-13 months. Last year, from Calvin Smith to Anthony Yildirim to Billy Joe Saunders to Caleb Plant, he's done all of that. This is solely on AJ. I'm telling you, if AJ, and it's not even the sanctioned bodies, if AJ wanted to fight top level opposition regularly, he knows he can't be fully active because these top level guys are going to demand top level money and negotiations are going to drag out. So he's going to have to, in between, December and August fights, have somebody like a tune-up, have somebody amongst the top 30.
We're somebody like. Same thing. I agree with what you're saying, but it's his fault, but it's also Eddie's fault because with the whole stadium thing, remember Eddie's obviously wants to have the promo and make sure that you've got the right amount of promotion and make sure that he's got the lion's share and everything is exactly as he wants it, as well as AJ. So they're both in collusion to not having the activity that AJ says that he desperately wants.
Yeah, I don't think it's AJ. I don't think it's Eddie. I think I promise you. When you listen to Eddie and AJ, Eddie says he's my boss. He tells me what to do. So if he's my boss, then it's on AJ on this one.
No. Where it is with these stadium fights, unfortunately, yes, Eddie wants these big fights, but he has to do it seasonally because we don't get weather like out in America. So that's why Canelo. He has fought 8 times in the past 2 years, whereas AJ's fought what, twice in 2 years, if 24 months. So I agree with you guys that he does need to taper it down, that he needs to fight the Avni Yildrims of the heavyweight division and get more active. But what it is, I think they're a bit worried that if they do fight the Avni Yildrims and the Tom Schwartzes, is how will the British public receive those fights being sold to us, because we know it's going to be pay-per-view also, because they're not going to give us that on DAZN's normal, are they?
Just before, guys,
they have to do it at a discounted price. So
no, don't worry. Space Cakes, thank you very much. Definitely catch you later. Royal Carl Brown Amori, thank you very much for the £10 donation. Very, very much appreciated. Usyk is better than Joshua, better movement, better combos, and better speed. Good show by him. So guys, what I'm going to do is, this is something that I know, and thank you, Alexander Wilson. Before we close this off, Barry Robinson, Coley's former trainer, said that AJ's training regimen was mediocre for years. He has yes men that don't want to say the truth. We could go on and discuss this all night.
I
Guys,
brought it up on the neutral corner, funny enough.
Well, what I will say is thank you very much, Danny, Base, the lovely OTC, Travis, KG, Bruce, everyone that came into the chat. It's nearly 2 o'clock in the morning. It's been an epic night. Not the result that some of us wanted, but at the end of the day, we still got a good night of boxing. I'm going to head off because I want to listen to this post-fight presser. Guys, if you can, if you want to, subscribe to the channel. I do get out there, get to the fights that I can and speak to the boxers. I'd appreciate that. If not, that's fine. Thanks for joining in the chat. Danny has got Fight Fan TV on YouTube. Head over, subscribe. He also interviews fighters too. OTC has got his channel where he does breakdowns and watch-alongs. Subscribe to OTC Boxing. Base, the kid casual boxing, has got his channel as well. So head over there and subscribe. It'd be nice to see us all supporting each other. And no doubt we'll probably do something like this for the Triple G, the trilogy, the Canelo Triple G. We'll probably link up and do something like this again.
No
It's
doubt.
been a pleasure. Thank you very much, you beautiful people. Until the next time.
October, don't be so nice to them. Listen, you don't need to subscribe to her channel. She's doing
Don't
big
need
things.
to.
No, they need to. Like,
I agree.
respect the woman. She puts
If
in
they
a lot of
want
work.
to.
Like,
We all
respect,
do.
respect October.
No, they
Red.
got you. They got you.
We
Yes,
do.
sir.
Good night, gentlemen. Until the next time.
Good night.